It's Q&A time. To be honest, I'm very nervous to do Q&As because I feel like Q&As can be a bit nerve-wracking and it's quite hard to meet everyone's expectations. Nonetheless, here we are today. So let's begin with the first question. Since the first few questions are a bit similar, I'll be putting them together. Have you seen the Danganronpa 2 remake? Yeah, I remember I saw it not that long ago, and to be honest, the revamp of Jabberwock Island, it looks really cool. What is your favorite Danganronpa game? And top 3 characters? My favorite game probably would be Killing Harmony because I feel like the layout and the school entirely just looks better. And as for top 3 characters, you're actually very close. If we go from favorite to least favorite, it would be Celeste, Mew, and Mikan. Next question is, do you have any plan for handcam gameplay? To be honest, yes, I would like to do one, but when, I have no idea. What other games do you play beside MLBB? Ooh, there's a lot. So I'll just put my top 3. I like to play Identity V, Genshin Impact, and Fortnite. Obviously the list goes on, but it'll take a while. Tell us about your worst MLBB experience with an ex-friend if you have one. To be honest, I don't really have like any toxic history with people. It's just maybe I do have like some people, my friends list here and there that kind of like annoy me. But specifically, I used to remember when people added me because they really liked my Selena. But the only issue is they wouldn't acknowledge that I only mostly play Selena roam. So usually they invite me with a roamer that I'd have to go mid. I know it's not a huge deal, but it kind of annoys me. But I really feel bad or embarrassed to, ask them if I could roam because I would feel very selfish. And I never know what to do in these types of situations. What do I like doing in my free time other than playing MLBB? What I do, I feel like is nothing really that special, but one of the few things that I enjoy doing is actually sewing. I remember I made quite a few things, but they're not that impressive and they're very bad quality. Nonetheless, it's one of the few things I like doing. And also, I have a personal vendetta against needles. Or those needles you use to sew, because I always prick my finger on them. So whenever that happens, I feel like I'm gonna pull a Sleeping Beauty. Face reveal when? Well, personally, I'm not that comfortable with showing my face. Probably when I reach a certain milestone, I will be doing one. Again, I can't promise anything, but I'm just letting you guys know. If you could remove a hero from MLBB, which one would it be? Congrats on 10K. Now, don't come at me, y'all, but I think if you consider who I main, it's very easy to know who I would delete from this game. And that would be Lolita. I literally cannot stand her. She is so annoying to deal with. The fact that not only she can absorb the damage, she'll also reflect any projectiles. Who's prettier, Lunox or Selena? Lunox Legend slays more. Now, before I answer this question, I just want to ask you, is there a right or wrong answer? If I don't say Lunox, what will happen to me? Should I be scared for my life? But anyways, Selena all the way. I am just here to congratulate your 10K subs. I'm just so happy for you. Oh my god, thank you so much. You're so sweet. This milestone means a lot to me, so thank you guys so much. Which rank do you think has the most number of toxic players? Now, in my personal opinion, and this is very, very specific, it's mainly those people who always brute force their 50% win rate in 1,000 matches to Mythical Immortal. It's those kinds of people who literally play bad but still end up in Mythical Immortal, the highest rank. So I would say them because I feel like in lower ranks, there's less strategy and more just brute force. And so I don't think people would be that toxic, and it's kind of like a learning experience for everyone. On the other hand, in Mythical Immortal, people literally expect you to teleport. That is literally not possible. I feel like lower tiers know how to communicate better than higher ranks. Again, this is just my personal opinion, but I always felt like Mythical Immortal, especially later in the seasons, they always have really, really toxic players. I always wonder, how did they even reach this rank? But I digress. Can you play Lingor Lance? Believe it or not, yes, I can play Lingor Lance in versus AI. Yeah. No, but genuinely, I suck at Lingor Lance. And I'm really bad, especially with characters who literally need farm to do anything. If I know I have to get, for example, 10,000 gold just to carry an entire game, it's not happening. Do you find that skins buff your gameplay? Because I feel like I play better with certain skins. Yeah, I honestly do feel this way. Whenever I have a really bad match, I always just blame the skin because it's obviously the skin's fault, right? Just change the skin and they'll do better next time. Cool. You're funny. I'm buying you. I love your voice. Thank you so much. Your favorite food? Well, To be honest, I don't really know how I'm gonna answer this one because I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like I'm the only person who doesn't really go crazy for food. It's like I eat just to eat. Like I never have anything specific in my mind, but something I do like eating. In my language, we say fojatataria. And the translation for that is like Maltese omelets. I'm the kind of person where I really like to eat very basic stuff. Like if I see too much on my plate, I lose my appetite. How did you get introduced to MLBB? Now, this is kind of a long story, but I was like, what, 7, 8? And it was summer at the time, and I was so bored out of my mind. Like, I was so bored. And so at the time, I had a phone, right? It can be debatable, like a 7, 8-year-old having a phone. But, you know, I had a phone, and I was just searching through the App Store, and I see Mobile Legends. And, you know, I try it, and it looks really fun. I remember one time I was playing Brawl with Layla's old normal skin, and I didn't know it was a trial card, and I thought I had the skin. And when I saw that I couldn't use it anymore, I got sad. Who is your boyfriend? Wait, I have a boyfriend? No, but seriously, I'm single. But you know, actually, I'm married to my husband, Eamon. As you guys know, he's a third leg demon. If you guys know the lore, you know the lore. If you were to create a new hero from MLBB, what would the name of the character be, skills, and its role? Now, I'm sure you guys heard of the risk versus reward factor, where, for example, you spend most of your time doing something, but it comes at the cost of another. For example, deciding to take an objective instead of defending a tower. I know that this idea can be a bit crazy, but I want a character who is literally that example. Or where they would be gimmicky. My idea for this character is that they would have one or more skills. They get a chance for a specific buff, and each specific buff has its own percentage depending on how good it is. So let's say 80% for a 5% attack speed, or a 10% chance for 100 adaptive attack. So like the lower the percentage, the higher the buff. And so I want a character that risks it all. That would be my idea of a character. And as of now, I don't really think there's a character who does this. Just the idea of getting buffs every time you activate a skill, it's not really the best, is it? But if you feel like you're a very lucky person and you want to rely on chance rather than skill, this would be a good character for you. And as for what I would name them, if the whole concept of the skills is based on chance, then probably Fayola or Taich, because both of those names basically mean good fortune. And honestly, I think I'd give them the role assassin marksman. So if you have horrible luck, at least you could rely on your items. Right. Anyway, this concept was horrible. Do you have a sugar daddy? Why? Do you want to share? Because if you want to share, I don't want to share. All I can really say, in MLBB, I don't have one. Yet. But yeah, if someone wants to fund my MLBB account, I won't say no. Especially since it ties to the next question. Did you get the Angela Sanrio skin yet, or do I need to make sure Muntin is sleeping with one eye open? To be honest, I'm not sure if I'm gonna get it. So as you guys saw from my community post, I got Claude. And like, to get another Sanrio skin now, it's kind of expensive. I'm not very fond of dropping a lot of money just for one skin, especially since this bingo was rigged. But I might do it, so hopefully I get the Angela skin. What role are you the least comfortable in? Definitely jungle, because it takes a lot of brain power. And Beyonce forbid you miss one turtle or one lord, or you're gonna get flamed by your entire team. What was your worst game as Selena can be either your fault or your teammate's fault. Obviously, I don't have the footage because this happened a while ago, but I remember specifically I went Selena gold, or Selena in the side lanes, and I lost hard. Like, I'm telling you, 5 minutes into the game, I was 0-8. Maybe even 0-10, I'm not even joking. I literally wanted to ult a 4. Anyways, never again. What is your top 3 most comfortable heroes to play with and could survive the whole game with only those 3 characters? My first would obviously be Selena. My second would be Guinevere. As for my third, I'm not so sure because I usually play supports, but the thing is I can't really survive that well because of how immobile some supports are. So it has to be like some kind of mage like Novaria or maybe Zushin. Mages that are very sneaky, if you know what I mean. But I would say maybe Novaria. I have a question. Why do you use Queen's Wings on Selena? Now, by all means, I'm not saying Queen's Wings is the best item for Selena, nor is it that optimal, but it's just literally preference. Queen's Wings, as you guys know, when you're low HP, it gives you more damage reduction and reduces your skill cooldown by 2 seconds. And you guys don't know how many times Queen's Wings has saved me because it reduced my cooldown, allowing me to have more stuns and dashes. Not only that, Queen's Wings also has a very unique passive. For every percentage of your HP lost, you get a damage increase, and that's really good for a lot of DPSs. In short, Queen's Wings is a good defensive item for Selena while also retaining her damage. Provides both offensive stats and defensive stats. Now once again, I'm not telling you guys that you have to use Queen's Wings, but it's just preference for me. Favorite dinosaur? Amen. I would say Dilophosaurus. Dilophosaurus? I mean, just look at it. It looks like a diva. That's all I need to know. What made you want to start making videos on YouTube specifically? I think my entire channel's purpose is the fact that I want to document, my Selena gameplay. And since Selena was a very stigmatized character, I just wanted to show the multitude of experiences that I've had with people and how people think when they have a damage roamer on their team, or just Selena in general. But then it kind of grew into something more like a hobby. And when I saw how fun it was creating content and engaging with people, it honestly made me want to do more of these stupid ideas. Which legend skin is your favorite? Now this may come out as a surprise to most of you, but I'm not that big of a marksman player, nor do I really like playing that role. However, my favorite legend skin is for Mia. I don't know, something about the design is like it's giving. It's such an old concept, but it's so good. What's your thoughts on VTuber and do you want to be one? Honestly, I think the entire concept of making a VTuber model is very, very difficult and also setting it up, but I really do commend and appreciate the people who do that. I wouldn't mind being one. The whole process of becoming a VTuber is kind of difficult, however, it would be really fun. I've been watching your vids for so long and it's so addicting. Thank you so much, I appreciate it. Is Celeste your actual name? No, Celeste is not my real name. When's your birthday? My birthday is in April. What inspired you to start YouTube? I think it stems from the fact that I've been playing this game for a while. And obviously if I'm going to be playing a game for a long term, then I might as well post about it. Who knows, it might work, it might not work. No, this is just my opinion and I don't mean to offend anybody, but a lot of the MLBB videos I see, if they include memes, it's always very the same. Like a lot of people use the same memes and stuff like that. And I kind of wanted to change that. I wanted to introduce a new type of humor to the MLBB community. Do you have any pets, Diva? As of now, I have 3 cats. When did you start playing Selena? I started playing Selena basically on her release. Which heroes are the best teammates for her in your opinion? In my opinion, the best teammates for her are people who can easily let her stun the enemies. For example, let's say Kadita's second skill. When they're airborne, it's very easy for Selena to follow up. And obviously there are a bunch more examples. And another personal favorite is the Selena Navaria combo. Like having 2 snipers on your team is so iconic. No shade to Leslie though. Which of her skins is your favorite? My favorite skin for Selena is Lady Vengeance. Why did you name yourself Celeste? Well, to be honest, I didn't really give my name that much thought. I just wanted something easy to pronounce and wasn't that long. Well, I don't know if Celeste is easy to say. And I just felt like Celeste it had a ring to it. Now, I don't know if it fits me that well, but I like the name. Can you make a video on some counters and tips for Selena so that I can be better at Selena? I've been struggling with Selena for a while and have been on the lose streak, so this would really help me. Now, if you guys know, at the start of my videos, I always explain the team comp and whether or not the enemy team comp is a anti-Selena team comp. And I always explain my thought process and how to deal with certain characters. I've also made many guides on Selena. I definitely will do a more improved video because those are outdated now, or they need some tweaks. Favorite Kardashian? Honestly, it's very close between Kourtney Kardashian and Kim Kardashian, but I think I would say Kim. Dream collab? Probably with someone who shares my type of humor, or someone who likes Flop Dog. Favorite music artist except Cupcake? I would say Charlie XCX. Celebrity crush? I'm gonna be honest, I don't really have one. It's not that I'm embarrassed to say my celebrity crush, because I say stupid things like Eamon has a 3rd leg. But now that I think about it, I genuinely don't have one. A lot of celebrities are admirable, but I wouldn't really say they're my celebrity crush. Favorite Pokemon? Now this is a really close one because I'm in love with fairy types, but I would say Primarina. What do you think of other MOBAs outside MLBB? Now, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a huge fan of most MOBAs out there. I don't know why, but I feel like they're kind of lacking, or they don't give something that MLBB does give. MLBB feels very different in comparison to most other MOBAs. Maybe it's the visuals, maybe it's the characters, maybe it's the skins, I don't know. Have you watched any anime? If so, what are your top 5? Blue Box, Romantic Killer, Glitter Force, Madoka, and my personal favorite, Blue Period. Your favorite novel? Now, I'm gonna be honest, I've never read that many novels, but one that really sends across a really nice message is The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. What is one thing that annoys you the most while playing? Probably teammates who'd rather use the chat, the only form of communication, as a way to just trash talk each other. And I also hate when people just give up, especially in higher ranks where you know you might have a lot of bad games or bad starts. That does not mean you give up. But I can go on and on about this, and I can even make a couple of videos regarding this issue. If you were to revamp or change anything to Selena, would you or would you not change anything to her? If you would, what are some things that you want to add or remove? Personally, I find Selena to be pretty unique as a character, and I'm very satisfied with her skill set. However, Muntun, please fix the issue where when the enemies have marks, I always target the enemies who don't have marks, because that really pisses me off. There's no reason why one enemy has marks and the other doesn't, and I go for the person who has no marks. Because you guys don't know how many times that killed me. Because the targeting system is horrible. Lastly, which character do you pair most with Selena, or at least find it very satisfying to combo with? My personal favorite is Selena Navaria, but another hero I like to combo Selena with is Guinevere. Because let's say Selena stuns the enemy, it will be very easy for Guinevere to stun them again, and vice versa. Recommended builds for Selena in different situations. When the enemies have a lot of tanky heroes, I would always suggest focusing on getting both penetration items and wishing lantern. If you want to use Selena crit, make sure that the enemy's team comp is mostly composed of very squishy heroes. Otherwise, you will struggle. If you want to go damage build, make sure you have a setter in your team. Someone who can easily stun the enemies so then you can follow up. Because if you miss your stun, then that 5 seconds will hurt. Cooldown reduction build is honestly Selena's best build, and it can be used anywhere because I think more resources is much better than more damage. And if you want to run either a tank build or a semi-hybrid build with Selena, then keep in mind your team comp's damage dealers. Make sure you have at least 2 people in your team who can deal damage. Best Selena matchups? I feel like Selena is one of those characters where her stun is just annoying for everyone in general, but she's best used against very slow enemies or enemies who have no way of escaping, or they're either very mobile. Counters to Selena? I think your second and third question also tie with this person's question. How is your aim so good and how do I improve mine? Now, obviously, as for Selena counters, there's Lolita, and basically anyone who runs really fast or dashes really fast. And there are also some tanks and healers that Selena personally struggles against. Now, why did I tie these 2 questions together? The reason being, I feel like if you want to improve your specific character, and I will die on this hill when I say it, you have to play against your counters. Like, there's no other way. I feel like when you play against your counters, you get a more unique perspective on things. I feel like when you pick and choose when to play a certain character, you might miss out on learning certain things when it comes to playing against your counters. Obviously, I understand playing against your counters is annoying, but it does help you improve. What other mages do you play? Now, I do have a surface level understanding of all the mages in this game. However, a few mages that I play in particular are Navaria, Kagura, Aurora, Lunox, Zushin, and there are a bunch more. How long have you been playing ML? Did you ever find yourself in a slump? If so, what do you usually do? I've been playing this game for around 7 years, and in this amount of time, I have had my fair share of really bad experiences. Whether it comes to people or just ranking in general. Whenever I have bad games, I always remind myself that I do not usually play like this. Bad games does not equate to you being a bad player. Bad players, in my opinion, are those people who intentionally throw a game. And usually when I lose, I usually give myself a motive to keep going, but only just to break the losing streak. So I get 1 star just to break the losing streak and I take a break. The motive can be a small reward for yourself, or just the sheer relief of you breaking the losing streak. What themes would you like to see for Selena's next skin? So obviously either legend skin or collector skin, since the designs for the collector series have been looking really nice lately. Even if they aren't heroes that I play, I really like the collector series. Being someone who mains Natalia, I feel like her and Selena are very much two sides of the same coin, considering their focus on vision, damage, etc. How do you feel about Natalia, and would you consider playing her? Now, I did have a Natalia phase when I was a classic warrior, and so usually I just pick very gimmicky characters, and Natalia was one of them. And honestly, I can see myself playing her because of her playstyle. Any character that's very sneaky is my forte. Who is skinnier between Selena and Mariah Carey? Is there a right or wrong answer? What's it like being the famous Celeste? Other than grinding 24/7 in MLBB just to get content, sounds very fun, am I right? Would you rather have an AFK son or a jungle stealing daughter? Jungle stealing daughter, because if they're gonna steal my buffs, at least they would steal the enemy's buffs as well. How does it feel to have a community? It feels very interesting and nice because I never thought I'd find people with the same personal interests, and not to mention humor. How do you balance content creation and responsibilities at such a young age? Now, for me personally, and I'm kind of shocked a lot of people around my social circle don't do this, but when it comes to responsibilities, I always prioritize those first. For example, homework or assignments. I always do those first before I end up playing some video games or doing anything in my leisure time. Although responsibilities such as housework, school, can be annoying to do, I always give myself like a motive. Like for example, if I finish my chores, I'll end up doing this in my leisure time. Or if I finish my schoolwork, I'll end up doing that in my free time. Obviously, you have to learn not to push yourself too far. Everyone has different capabilities, and not everyone can do the same thing without taking a break every now and then. But for me personally, I always feel motivated to do things related to work because I know I'll have more free time if I end up doing them earlier. Who did you like playing before Selena? Now, you guys might not believe me when I say this, but I really used to like Odette. After she got revamped, I literally lost interest. I didn't like her one bit. But I was an Odette main way before. She was so broken, oh my god. It's not even funny. Whom do you think will be stronger, Selena or Obsidia? Now, from my understanding, Obsidia was the old queen of the abyss, and Selena, who's an amateur with her powers and is only strong while in her abyssal form. As much as I hate to say this, Obsidia will be much stronger. I feel like she has more fates than Selena. Next question is by Zex. Hi Zex. What got you into MLBB, and why did Selena become your signature hero? Now, other than me being bored at a young age, I'm pretty sure I found out this game through Magic Rush. It was an old Munton game, and I'm pretty sure it's still up. Well, basically, I think I clicked on it once in the App Store and then it recommended me another game. And in this case, MLBB. This is a trend that I like to do in every single game. I always scroll through the character list and I ask myself, who's the prettiest character? And then I saw Selena and boom, I fell in love. What do you think about the toxicity of players in game and people that made the global chat as a dating app? I think being blatantly toxic is embarrassing. Obviously, I understand the difference between toxicity and constructive criticism. If I do something bad and people are explaining to me how to do things better, that's fine, I understand. If you're gonna be blaming me and, just being rude altogether, then that's a different thing. But as for the global chat, it wasn't too long ago that I found out that people were using it as a dating app. Specifically when I was doing my voice trolling videos and trying to ask people from the global chat to, team up. But yeah, MLBB is a kid's game, and I think that if they want to, use dating apps, they should go find the real dating apps. I don't really think that MLBB is a good place for that. Do you have crippling bipolar disorder, and is that what made you main Selena? Yes, queen. That's what made me main Selena. I saw a part of me in Selena. I love you, queen. Please don't go bald. Do you play Kagura with Golden Induction build or Burst? I use Golden Induction and the damage is still pretty okay. And do you add Skypiercer and Selena? Me personally, I don't use Skypiercer and Selena. I feel like there are much better items you can be using on her, especially considering how inconsistent she is. Shoot an arrow, transform, any weight, and rinse and repeat. So I think Skypiercer will be better with people who are more consistent. or can attack more frequently while also retaining their damage. Why do you roam most of the time with Selena and not mid? She's definitely more effective as the roamer because her arrow could be coming from anywhere. Let's say if you're the mid laner, people would be expecting you to be coming from a certain area. And if you're the roamer, you could be literally anywhere. And if you're the roamer, you'll have more chance to place traps around the map, as opposed to playing the mid lane or the side lanes or the jungle. Be more focused on clearing your waves or clearing the jungle. You probably wouldn't have any time to place any traps. Can Selena be effective if played as a jungler? Yes, she's definitely a good jungler, but the only issue with Selena jungle, how inconsistent she is, and I've mentioned this time and time again. Her cooldowns in the early game really hurt her. She isn't able to keep doing large amounts of damage in a short period of time. She does it once and she has to back away. Nonetheless, Selena is not that easy to play in this current meta. I've been feeling off lately while playing ML. And even though I do every day, my skill up in certain heroes seems to be affected. How do I play better in certain scenarios, and how do I bring out your best in matches? Now, what I want a lot of people to understand is that one bad match, a few bad matches, a bad day, a few bad days, does not make you a bad player. Take this for example. In many pro scenes, not just in MLBB, there will be players who do bad. And well, obviously, there's a team that's going to do bad and there's a team that's going to do good. Does that mean they're any less pro than the other team who's doing good? I don't think so. Because if they weren't pro, how would they even qualify for the tourneys in the first place? Inevitably, everyone's going to do bad no matter who you are. Be considered the best player in the world and you'd still end up with one chocolate match every 1,000 matches. These things happen, but you can't let it get to you and you mustn't give up. Obviously, when you do some mistakes, you have to learn from them. Take advice and criticism your teammates give you, and it's always learn and adapt. For example, let's say one of your tactics and strategies don't work. Try to come up with a different strategy, especially if you feel like a certain enemy has more awareness or experience. Are you considering of adding different games to your channel, like maybe a horror game? I would definitely love to add some different games here and there, but I think for now I'm going to focus just on MLBB. But I do like the concept of adding different games. Do you plan on making a series where you play new heroes and main for a while? Also, what do you hope to see for the future of your channel? I do like the idea of maining a hero for a while, and I have done this with a few characters already. And as for what I hope to see for the future of my channel, I want to keep expanding my community and introduce different content ideas surrounding MLBB. This question is a bit juicy. What do you dislike about your fellow MLBB content creators? Now, obviously, I'm not naming names, and I've seen this countless of times. But honestly, it's the whole concept of jokes or memes. I've seen multiple creators imply jokes that could be viewed as misogynistic, racist, xenophobic, etc., and the list goes on. And these forms of prejudice are always in very subtle hints. Now, obviously, I do understand that maybe sometimes you might not know what a certain joke or meme actually means. You might just think it's just funny and that's it. But I feel like it's important to really do your research about certain things rather than putting something in your videos and not having a clue what it could mean. But again, this is very non-specific. So how's life? Beyonce. Who is Beyonce? What is that flop drop thing? So the whole Beyonce joke is basically when something good happens, we say thank you Beyonce, or because of Beyonce, da 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 da. And the whole Flop Tropica thing, Flop Tropica is basically definitely a real country. Like, it's not made up, it's very, very real. And we all should go together someday as a family of 10,000. Would you live in the land of Dawn if you had the chance? Of course, I'd want to live wherever Selena's living. I'm so confused. Are you a girl or a boy? I am a boy. Even if some might not believe it, biologically, I am a boy. Although I sound like a girl, it doesn't mean I am one. This isn't a question where it's just about how comfortable I am in answering it, but it's also important for me to answer it because I don't want to be lying to anybody or make people think that I'm something I'm not. And as I continue to grow my channel, you guys deserve to know. It's not something I can just sweep under the rug like nothing happened. I have to be authentic and real. Hence why I made that My Secret video, because I just couldn't stand lying to you guys. What tip would you give to everyone who's stuck on a rank? I would say find a hero you're very confident and comfortable in and spam it. maybe find someone to team up with. And remember, always be positive and don't trash talk. I feel like people play better in a positive space. And mocha or chiffon cake. I love that voice line. But I would say chiffon cake because I'm not that big of a fan of espresso. What interested you in playing Selena? By the way, I was the one who edited the Beyonce She Knows meme. Girly, I love you for that. Remember when I saw that meme? Oh my god, you a diva. And as for why I'm interested in Selena, it's honestly her playstyle and the fact that she can do a lot of things if you know how to utilize her. And people always ask me, oh, don't you get bored of playing the same character like 1 billion times? To be honest, that could be the case, but not for Selena. Because she has so many combos you can do. And honestly, she's not that boring in general. Would you rather be with a Hello Kitty pajamas girl or goth femboy? Decisions. Now, Cody, I think you would know me best. And that I would say, why not take both? Like, why decide when you kind of peak? What plans do you have for your channel going forward from here? Also, what do you think of us, your community? Is there anything you dislike about us? And what would you like us to stop doing or change? Finally, how do you feel about making it to 10k subs? 10k subs feels like such a huge achievement for me, and I can't thank you guys enough. I would definitely not be here without you guys. So thank you. And as for our community, honestly, I'm very, very surprised in a good way that I found people I can relate to. Not only when I make these stupid jokes about flop talk, but also when I'm in a vulnerable state. I feel like you guys know how to console me and also indulge in my happy moments. So I'm very content with the community that we have. Do you like to go Selena Jungle? Honestly, when I do go Selena Jungle, I do enjoy it. However, I find it to be very difficult. Will you ever make a video of you speaking Maltese? No, the only problem that I have with this kind of concept is that trying to get an understanding to my audience will be very difficult. Well, I mean, duh, because I'm speaking another language. And right now, I don't know if people come to me for educational purposes or just to have fun. But I do like this idea, and I honestly might do it very soon. What's your perception of Assassin Jungler users? Now, I think Assassin Jungler users have a reputation of being notoriously greedy. It's kind of like you have to listen to them and them only, which is kind of like, then what's the point of this team game if I'm gonna just listen to you? Oh, obviously if they're carrying, then I'm gonna listen, but like if our entire team is doing fine, then why should you have the first say? But at the same time, I kind of get it because like they're the jungler and obviously they have a really important role. And if they farm, basically the rest of your team farms as well. But yeah, I feel like they do have this kind of stigma surrounding them. Not saying it's well deserved, but I mean, the apple doesn't fall too far away from the tree, if you know what I mean. What was your reaction to getting Curse of Cinder Selena? To be honest, when I got it, I was like, this is not a Selena skin. There's no way they created this beauty just for my main. Like, oh my god. Oh, and finally, this is the end of the Q&A. Thank you to whoever left me questions. And my apologies if you didn't see your question here. It's just sometimes there were a lot of duplicates or questions that were very similar. So I'm sorry. Before we end the video off, I would like to say thank you so much for 10k subscribers. This means a lot to me and I'm very proud of myself and my community. So thank you for being a part of this journey with me. I love you, divas.